All right, good morning, guys. Today's April 11th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So yesterday we had an amazing trade. US 30 hit take profit for 100 pips. So this was the trade we called on the live session. Took the trade around here. It went into about 30 pips drawdown or 20 pips. Actually, it started off in profit like 30 or 40 pips and then retraced a little bit to the downside. And then finally, at the end of the day, the trade finally hit take profit for 100 points. So keep in mind, our take profit is normally 50 points. So this was one good trade because I rarely take trades for 100 pips because I don't want to hold for that long. But it also depends on market structure. But yesterday I did say if US 30 broke above this trend line right here, and I did see us breaking above the 4-hour bearish high. And the other reason we are taking the trade, we did have a golden cross forming on the 5-minute. And then we did have this weekly bullish low here. So keep in mind, weekly, daily, and monthly bullish and bearish zones rarely come up. So when they come up, we definitely want to trade in that direction. So exactly, right? So I did say in the 4-hour bearish high, previously on the live session, I did say we might not get a retest of the trend line, right? Because I'd said if we break above the trend line and get a retest and closure above, I would be scaling in. But I also did say since the 4-hour bearish high had been tested a couple of times, we might just get a candle that spiked through the 4-hour bearish high, the trend line, and also the weekly bullish low. So that's what happened, right? So we had this candle that spiked all the way up above the closed above the trend line, closed above the weekly bullish low, and then we had some retracement. We had some retracement back to around the weekly bullish low area, and then picked up liquidity and then went straight to take profit. Also yesterday, even though we didn't take it, I did mention there was a gold trade that was available, and actually that trade would have gone straight into, gold consolidated a little bit yesterday, but when we were looking at gold yesterday, we did have this supply zone within a supply zone. And then we had that rejection. And then I did say a buy would be closure above the 9 EMA and retest of the 9 EMA. However, I did say I wasn't going to take it because yesterday was pretty much a slow day. There was a bunch of bank holidays. But for that particular trade, so we had this candle that closed above the 9 EMA. And then the next candle closed above and retested the 9 EMA, or retested the 9 EMA and closed above. So that would have been the entry. Our TP and stop loss for gold is 50 pips, stop loss 50 pips, take profit. And that trade would have easily gone into profit. Yeah, so yesterday was definitely a lot of consolidation, but yeah, give me one quick second, guys. All right, sorry guys, I just had to step away a little bit. But yeah, so that gold trade would have gone straight into profit, but we did not take that.
We can't hear you, bro.
No, I'm sorry guys, I had to step away a little bit. I'm trying to multitask. All right, so let's look for trades for today. Let's see what we have. So US 30 as usual, I can already see a trend line from the downside. So we'll do this. And then we'll do from the upside, we'll do this. All right, so let's see, we have a daily bearish high here. Okay, so look at this, right? We have a daily bearish high. What happened when price came down to the daily bearish high? We had a death cross. However, even though it did materialize, it faked out below the daily bearish high, and they used the daily bearish high as a bullish zone. So keep in mind, this is the same thing they did yesterday. They used the daily bearish high as a bullish zone, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So I do see if price comes down and we get a close below here, I will be selling US 30. But right now, let's see, we do have daily bearish high, previous monthly high, Friday high, Monday high. So other than this supply zone, so we do have these supply zones here. However, US 30 for me is bullish. Gold is half and half, I think. EU is also bullish. So honestly, the US 30 trade that I'd be waiting for would be a closure below this high low, which ideally would be below the daily bearish high. You can, so also, so keep in mind, this is a supply zone, but if gold was bearish, that's the only time I would be looking to take a sell up here. But I am not going to take any sell from this supply zones. But if this supply zones line up for a sell for your guys' confluences, feel free to enter into any sells. But personally, I will not enter any sells above here. Let's see what else we have on gold. Gold has an amazing downtrend. So this is what I like trading. So this is the downtrend on gold, the top of the channel, then you have the bottom of the channel. This is perfect. Let's see, EU. So EU. So I don't see any trend. Oh, this is the 30-minute. If I go on the 5-minute, I hope I drew the others on the 5-minute. Okay, on the 5-minute, this is the only trend line. So I like to trade 5-minute established trend lines. I really don't like drawing trend lines on the 1 minute if I can help it. Okay, so for US 30, let's see where it's likely to go. So this is just a basic supply zone. But if it breaks these two zones, where is US 30 likely to head? It's likely to go to this next supply zone within a supply zone up here. So you can have some ranging here. And then, so when US 30 comes around this zone, what I'd be looking for is a closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute and retest of the 9 EMA and closure below. And then at that point, I would enter into a sell for US 30. That's if all the confluences align. What I'm hoping for is US 30 doesn't have to go all this way up. I actually just wanted to come down from where it is right now. So we have some ranging, closure below this trend line, retest of the trend line, and then closure below this daily bearish high. And at that point, I will sell US 30 around here towards the downside. So keep in mind, so this was, I remember this daily bearish high yesterday, they used it as a bullish zone. And you can see how price has been attracted to this daily bearish high. So definitely if we do break this daily bearish high around the 33,577, I expect US 30 to melt to the downside. Let's also see what channel we are in. Yeah, we're in a bullish channel. However, if I hide the drawings, you guys can see that this channel is ideally neutral, right? So normally when we have channels, if it's an uptrend, this green and red channels would be trending to the upside, but right now you can see they're sort of level. So right now US 30 is just consolidating. So what we want is for price to come down into this red channel. And then close below the daily bearish high. Now, if US 30 was bearish, if price was below the 90 EMA, I could have taken the sell from this supply zone. But right now, US 30 is still bullish and can easily continue to the upside. I need to disable annotation or drawing on the screen because I see. I'll figure that out later. Let's see. Let's see for gold. All right, let's see what. So gold is coming from a demand channel, right? Or from an area of demand. So let's see what channel we're in. If we are in a bullish channel, I will look for a retest of that trend line. Okay. Yeah, so gold is coming from a demand area. It's moving. It's also going into a bullish channel up here. So for gold. Yeah, so if we get a retest of this trend line and closure above, I will buy gold. Let's see what else. EU. So EU is still trending to the upside, but you can see here we are in a supply zone within a supply zone. And EU on the was it EU I was looking at on the hourly? Maybe not. There was something that had a head and shoulders, unless I was looking at a lower time frame. Okay, I thought it was EU, but I guess it was only on the 5-minute. But EU is still bullish right now. The only way I could have taken a sell here is if EU was bearish, because ideally it would line up with the supply zone within a supply zone. Unfortunately, there's no markups to ride EU up, other than probably using a trend line. I can see a hanging trend line here on the 5-minute. So it's coming from this lower low, and then this area has to be established as a high low. But right now, honestly, I'm just waiting for US 30 to give confluence. So either this is I would much rather sell US 30 at around 577, 33, 577. So same thing on gold. So we'll just have to wait until those two give us some confluences. Give me one more minute. I need to check something. Does anybody have any questions?
No, no, thank you, bro.
Okay. So this is just a waiting game. So looking to buy gold, but it has to come retest this trend line, which would ideally coincide with retest of the 9 EMA and closure above. That's when I would buy gold. US 30, let me delete this. US 30, I'm just waiting to sell US 30 around here. So let me just put the long and short positions. Don't worry, I'll delete this this other, I think somebody scribbled on the Zoom by accident. Yeah, so that's what I'm waiting for US 30. For gold, now keep in mind we are ideally trading because some of these instruments, they move alike Sometimes gold and US30 move alike. So we just have to make sure that all confluences align because we don't want to just end the day at a break even. But that's what I'm waiting for on gold. EU, yeah, EU is still bullish. We have nothing other than, so this supply zone within a supply zone is holding, but I need EU to be bearish for me to even sell from here. So if we do get a closure on the 5-minute below the 9 EMA on EU, and then another retest of the 9 EMA and closure below at that point, then I will look to sell EU. And you can see this is a positive. So this is also a hanging trend line. So this is perfect. We need this to be established. So this trend line is coming from the higher high going to this zone. So we need this to be established as a lower high in future. So that's probably in the next 15 or so minutes, but we'll just leave that as a hanging trend line as is. So that's the difference, right? A hanging trend line comes from a confirmed structure or area to another area that hasn't been confirmed as a structure or area. However, based on your analysis, you do see that being established as a second point of structure in the future. An established or static trend line comes from an established point of structure or structural area. So for example, this high low to another established structural point. So to this lower low. So this here is a static trend line or established trend line. This here, these two to the top are hanging trend lines since they haven't been confirmed yet. Give me 1 second. Let me try something. Okay. And you can see EU is definitely heavily bullish. So that's why I don't even want to sell at that supply zone within a supply zone. So gold did not give us that retest. However, just need to wait for it to come back down here. Okay, US30 is coming down. Now this is an established trend line on US30 to the upside. But however, US30 is not really bullish. If it was bullish, I would be looking to maybe take a quick scalp. So right now, US30 to me is 50-50, and that's also confirmed when we put the trending channels on. Ideally, they were pretty much level, right? So this shows some indecision on US30. Now, we did have a closure below the 9 EMA. On the 5-minute, and then we did have a retest of the 9 EMA and close. So even though this candle closes below the 9 EMA, the reason I would not take an early sell on US30 is because we have this trend line to the upside. So this trend line can literally hold, and then US30 keeps pumping up. So we definitely need closure below. In any case, for any early sell, I would wait for a closure below this trend line that's established, and then retest of that trend line and closure below the trend line. However, this right here, if this closes, for me, this is a risky sell because this trend line is still valid and is still holding for now. Yeah, so this is ideally just a matter of patience. Okay, so EU, where is EU likely to head? We do have a previous daily high here. We have a previous monthly high. above right there, and then we do have this supply zone within a supply zone. But all the way up, I don't have any bearish zones. I only have well, I do have a weekly bearish low all the way up here, but I don't see that getting hit like today. So at the very least, if I was looking to sell EU, I'd wait for price to come above, either around the previous daily high, around the previous weekly high. So anywhere where we do have these supply zones within a supply zone, and then I would wait for closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, and closure, retest and closure below the 9 EMA again. And then at that point, that's the only time I would want to sell or look to sell EU. But for right now, EU is fully bullish. Unfortunately for EU, we don't have any bullish markups to ride EU up. In any case, the only trade or the only thing we can use to ride EU up would be retest of the 9 EMA. And also these trend lines are still hanging, so still is a risky trade for me. So I'm not looking to take buys just yet on EU.
And what was your analysis on gold? I just got
Gold, I'm waiting for the retest of the 9 EMA and retest of this trend line to the upside, and that at that point I will enter the gold buy around this zone, which is also like a demand zone. So ideally, I'm waiting for the retest of the 9 EMA, or ideally, personally, I would prefer retest of the trend line. Retest of the 9 EMA also works. Yeah, so whichever comes first, I will be buying gold at that point.
Did you miss the buy on gold when it was down there?
No, we didn't have a retest. So I've been waiting for the retest of the trend line. So at no point has the trend line been retested after we closed above it.
Oh, okay.
But if you're talking about the demand zone, that was before the live session. Nowadays, I only start looking at or looking for active trades after New York Open. I don't even look for trades before. But yeah, but since I already, and I know I sent this markups in the group, and gold markups for today, you can see this is where gold reversed from, right? 1990. Yeah. So yeah, you guys could have entered before. Yeah, but nowadays, and also I'm just away from like a mini vacation, so I'm not really looking to do too much. Yeah, but based on the markups, you guys could have easily entered any buys within this demand zone here. Okay, so there it is. And when we get a retest, I need that candle to close above the trend line. But let me see what the distance on gold is, because sometimes you can miss a good trade just because of 1 or 2 pips. So 2014, yeah. Okay, I'll wait for it to come back down. Because I'm used to trading US 30, that's when I normally expect an exact retest. Yeah, but for gold, sometimes the difference between like the trend line and the 9 EMA was only 30 cents, and there's no need to miss a trade because of 30 cents. Okay. And there you go. So US 30, so same thing I said, right? No need to chase an early sell, because this trend line, so never try to chase something, especially if it goes against an established trend line. Because here, if somebody chased the early sell, you'd have been ideally almost at stop loss. So Yeah, this gold trade, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so for gold, always measure the distance. So if I say I'm waiting for like retest of trend line or retest of the 9 EMA, normally for gold, the distance between the two is just 10 cents. So that's not gonna make or break your trade. You can always enter, like that could have been at the entry right there. But I'll still wait for it to come back. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Yeah, so everything right now is bullish. EU is bullish, gold is bullish. I think gold is the only one that can give us an early entry. I do see US 30 pumping. So this is the next sell area. So I did define two sells area for US 30. Either closure below this daily bearish high, which is around 33,577. That is my ideal sell on US 30. However, if it keeps pumping to the upside, that's fine as well, because I'll wait for price around 33,800 and 33,850 and 33,820. In between there, I'll wait for closure below the 9 EMA and retest and closure below the 9 EMA. At that point, I'll be looking to enter this sell somewhere up here. Okay, there goes gold. I'm not in yet. I'm waiting to see how it's going to react on the trend line. Still waiting. Remember, you need to wait for closure of the candle, because this candle can just sink to the downside. So you want to wait for closure of this particular candle right here. If it closes below, definitely not taking it. If it closes above, I would want to see how the next candle opens. All right. Also, ideally, you want your stop loss to be below this channel. All right, well, let's see, 3 minutes. What I'll do, I'll go to the 1 minute right here. And I will enter, if this candle, 1 minute candle closes as a bullish candle, I will enter a buy on gold. I'm trying to see. Okay, so that's the buy right there. No,
You are in?
yeah, I mean, well, I'm not in yet. I'm trying to enter, but that's the buy that I'm entering. I'm trying to click my MT4, but yeah, but that's the trade. I'm not in on my account. I have to enter on my phone. I don't know why the trade is not taking. Let's see. I'm on my phone. Open gold. Oh wow, I opened like 5 positions at the same time. That's not good. I think it's the lag. Okay. So I mean like 4 gold buys. Right. Let's see how that trade will ride out, but I will close a couple of buys so that I only remain with one. I think due to the lag in the network up here. Yeah, because ideally I have a total of 8 lots on gold right now, and that's just too much risk for me. So I just need one. Let's see. All right, so let's see US 30, and I definitely don't want that to happen. Um, all right, gold, come on. Let's see. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to, everything should be bullish, but I just need to exit my extra gold, or maybe I should just leave them, right? Make, I can probably make 4% to just, and there goes gold. Gold is back in profit. There we go. Okay, we're back in profit. However, I'll be, since I'm in with, I entered with four positions. I'll be closing 3 out. I think because of the lag in the network here. So I'll just be looking to close a couple of them first. Okay. There you go, 10 pips in profit on gold. And I'm closing some of my gold positions because I don't need all of that risk. So we have 15 pips in profit on gold. There we go. There we go. All right, let's go. All right, so now I'm only in one position, just a regular risk. So yeah, my accounts are freezing. So let's look at what's happening with US 30. Right, still being held by this supply zone, but I've seen this pattern too many times. They're gonna blast through this supply zone more than likely. So keep in mind for US 30 sell, I'm only looking either to sell at closure below the daily bearish high, which is around 33,574, or anywhere between 33,850 and 33,820. When we get a closure below the 9 EMA on the 5 minutes, and retest and closure below the 9 EMA on the 5 minutes. So those are my two areas to look for US 30 sells. For buys, we don't have any bullish markups around. The only thing we can use to enter buys on US 30 is the trend line. However, I am not confident of just using the trend line by itself, especially so as much as that can play out, like look around what we have, right? We have a supply zone up here. We have a supply zone up here. We have a bearish high, 15-minute bearish high, 15-minute bearish low. We have Monday high, which is yesterday's high. We have Friday's high, and we also have a daily bearish high. So this is why I'm not really keen on taking any buys right now on US 30 because we are surrounded by just sell zones around. So that's why I'm not looking to take any buys on US 30 for now. EU is the same thing as US 30. So for EU, honestly, for EU, if we do get so this is another thing to keep out on for EU. If we do get a 15-minute sell signal on EU, so for example, let's see, US 30, let's look for EU. Euro USD. So the last 15-minute signal on EU was a 15-minute, I'm sorry, yesterday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It was a buy on EU on the 15-minute time frame. So if you do look at EU on the 15-minute time frame, you'll see that EU has just been trending up and up and up and up. So when we do get a 15-minute sell signal on EU, I'll be looking to take a sell on EU. But until then, I'm not really looking for any other entries on EU. All right, let's see how gold is going. So gold is up, still up about 9 pips or something. Again, such days are when, in case you guys have any questions or clarifications, when the markets are ranging or moving slow. And keep in mind tomorrow also, I believe tomorrow is CPI. So the day before heavy news, you normally have a lot of consolidation in the market or either trending. So that's another reason why we may be having low liquidity in the market right now. All right, good. That's what I want to see for gold. All right. Yeah, so gold is literally just ranging. But so this is another thing we want. Price is above the trend line. Price is also above the 9 EMA. Price just came from a demand zone. So we should get hopefully a spike up soon. If we do close above this lower high, I do anticipate like a spike to the upside. And ideally where our take profit is, it's around this supply zone within a supply zone. So it makes sense to hold this trade all the way up there. Let's see for gold. I do see US 30 pumping to the upside. Looking at my MT4, we do have some trend lines here to the upside. So I do see US 30 popping to the upside. So this is the trend line I'm also looking at on my MT4. There's this one, and then there was another trend line that's cutting across. It's a trend line from a while back, so I don't know when I drew it, but there's a trend line up here that's also supporting US 30. So I do see US 30 shooting up past that supply zone. Oh, and here we go. We have this higher high. All right, there goes gold. Gold is up. We are up about 15 pips on gold. All right, there we go. So if we do close above this lower high, that's when I said I do see liquidity building in and pushing gold, hopefully to our TP in less than 10 minutes. And there you go. We are up. Gold is up about 15 pips or 18 pips. And so the other thing that I want to start doing, I think starting next week, I might start increasing my risk on trades. So currently I just start with a 0.5% risk. So I do see myself going for 0.75 risk or either 1% risk and only looking for one trade a day. 1:1 risk to reward, so that if I lose that trade, I just need one other trade to recover. But I'll just be doing some reevaluation of the risk parameters that I choose to enter my trades. So if I do go for 0.75% risk on a trade, if I lose one trade, ideally I'll be going for at most 2 losses. That's if I lose a trade. So with 0.75 risk, if I lose 2 trades in a row, I'll just be calling it a day. And ideally that's just down 1.5%. And then ideally I'll still be doing the same. I'll be looking for 2 winning trades in a day and then just taking those 2 trades with 0.75% risk. And if I win both, I'm up about 1.5 in a day. So that's something that I'll be doing starting next week. And there goes gold. We are up about 25 pips going to 30 pips profit. So when this trade, and there you go, I told you guys, if we do close above that lower high or we have a spike above the lower high, we'll get a bust in liquidity to the upside. And if this trade, when this trade gets 50 pips in, no, what is it? Actually, yeah, the trade should be, you guys should set break even around now because yeah, this rate should be at break even because we normally do break even when we are halfway to profit. So either secure half and set break even or just go ahead and set break even. So whichever it is. But this trade, the risk is 0.5% for me. So I'll go ahead and do this break even. Personally, since I got filled in, because remember my MT4 was hanging, so I got filled in a little higher than you guys. So for me, I'm still not at break even, but if you did enter when I said buy, you should be at break even because the trade is already at 30 pips or shot up about 30 pips in profit, right? Yeah, 25 pips in profit. Yeah. So this trade for you guys, if you want to keep holding, should be at break even. Personally, I'm still holding. I haven't set break even as I got filled in later. And there goes US 30. Yeah, so I'm not sure we're gonna get the US 30 sell during the live session. Yeah, so always, yeah, the other thing, like as I said, always keep an eye out on a trend line that's established, right? Because when price was here, I did say you can get into an early sell. However, you need price to close below this established trend line and retest and close below. So that's where I was looking for the early sell. Anybody who entered the early sell anytime or any place here, you could have gone straight into drawdown. So never really try and go against an established trend line. In any case, you can just keep trading with the trend. Okay, EU, so let's see what EU is doing. Okay, so both US 30 and gold are heavily bullish. EU is changed. So you can see for EU, we've closed below the 5-minute. Now, if we do get a retest and closure below the 5-minute, that might be something to look out for. But honestly, I'm only waiting. If we do get that 15-minute, again, like I don't trade signals and like every day, but I can use a signal as a confluence. So I know EU has been going up since yesterday at 6:30 p.m. on the what is it, on the 15-minute time frame. So for about 15 hours straight, EU has been going up. So ideally what I would be looking for is to see a 15-minute sell on on EU, and at that point I'll just line it up with the confluence. The best thing that can happen is for us to get the 15-minute sell signal right now, because you can see EU is just rejecting from the supply zone within a supply zone. Now, if we did get a 15-minute sell signal here, I would just wait for this current candle to close below the 9 EMA. As you can see, it's retesting the 9 EMA exactly. So I'll just wait for it to close below, and then at that point I would enter the sell. However, until we get that 15-minute signal, whether it's going to be on the live session or away from the live session, that's how I'll be looking to take that trade. And even if we get the signal, remember, I just don't trade signals by themselves. I just use them as a confluence. So even though I get a 15-minute sell signal, I still have to come back to the charts and wait for closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute and retest and closure below the 9 EMA. And at that point, I will enter into that trade. All right, there goes gold. Gold is back up. Almost, so it's up about 25 or 28 pips, but I still do expect it to pump up. So the only thing to be wary of on gold right now is this supply zone that gold is coming into. So if we do get here, I do expect a little bit of rejection. And then when we get into this supply zone within a supply zone, I do expect some rejection. So when we get around here, ideally our TP would be what, 1 pip away. So you can just close your trade early if you don't, because ideally the difference here would be maybe even half a pip. So when the trade gets around this supply zone within a supply zone, even though I do expect this trade to hit TP, you can manually close around this zone just to be safe, because you can see we do have a supply zone within a supply zone that's right where our TP is. So there's no need for you to miss out on 0.5% for the day just so that you can make an extra $5. Yeah. Let's see. And on gold, look at the hourly chart, right? The previous hourly candle closed above the 9 EMA. The current hourly candle is pushing up, right? Retested the 9 EMA, tried to close below, but guess what? It went and closed above, or it's hopefully going to close above in the next 24 minutes. There you go, gold, we are up. Or if you guys entered when you guys entered, you should be up about 35 pips on gold. Our TP is 50 pips. Right now, this is where I normally wish I didn't close the other orders, right? Coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but we don't trade that way. But if you guys remember, I got filled into 4 buy orders down here. So I had a total of 8 lots on gold, 2 lots each. But because of the network lag, I got filled in on all of them. But anyway, we don't trade on what I could have done, what I should have done. You just have to keep moving forward. And look at that. We have some rejection from this zone right here. And US30, I'm pretty sure. Okay, US30 is coming back down. Okay. So remember, for any sell on US30, even though it's an early sell, wait for closure below this trend line. All right, let's see. Yeah. Let's see. US30. Yeah. Yeah, still nothing on US30. Let me see if my bias has changed on these 3 instruments. US30, gold is definitely still bullish. EU, so EU and US30 are sort of half and half. However, for me, for the sell on US 30, again, even an early sell would have to be closure below that trend line. Let's see if we've changed the channel we are in. So we're still in a bullish channel. Gold, I'm pretty sure gold, we are in a bullish channel as well. Yep, we're in a bullish channel on gold, so that's fine. Okay, EU. Pretty sure probably entering. Okay, EU, we are in a bearish channel. So you can see the channel, right? The supply zone within a supply zone around here. We had this closure below the 9 EMA that I was telling you guys about, and then the next candle retested and closed below the 9 EMA. However, I did say I wasn't taking the sell on EU just yet. I need a confirmation on the 15-minute, but you guys can pretty much use the same analysis, because you can see anyway, whatever instrument we've been trading, whether it's gold, whether it's US 30, you can see this supply and demand zones are holding or have been holding. For example, on gold, this demand zone has been holding. This supply zone held here, and then we just got a rejection from it. So if this supply and demand zones align with any of the confluences you guys have, feel free to take trades around those areas. Yeah, I really don't see any other trades for today other than this two. Let's see, EU. This trend line, however, wasn't established on the 5-minute, but on the 1-minute, it's just, I'm just trying to see if there's a we have a 4-hour bearish high here on EU. I think I do see a sell on EU on the 5-minute. Short position, see how far 20 pips is for this trade. 20 pips. Okay. I think I would rather do 30 pips on EU. The reason I'm looking at that is because even though this trend line is not established on the 5-minute, this trend line is established on the 1-minute right here. So it came from a lower low to a high low. Let's see. And the stop loss is all the way above the previous daily high, previous monthly highs. Yes, if this candle closes, I will take a sell on EU around this zone for 30 pips. Take profit, 30 pips, stop loss. Let me just make sure my trade copier is on. See. I'm still risking 0.5%. We have 30 pips take profit, 30 pips stop loss. And also EU is definitely bearish, so has changed to a bearish bias. Because even if we put the channel right here, I think we did the trend channel right here for EU. But I need this 5-minute candle to close. Hopefully it doesn't spike to the downside without us. But yeah, I'll be taking this sell on EU. And also look at this. We have a Monday high, we have a 4-hour bearish high, we have an hourly bearish high, we have a 30-minute. So we have nothing but bearish highs on or lows around here. And that is the sell I am in for EU right now. So I'm in this sell for EU, which ideally doesn't also look good for the gold buy. So, but your gold trades should be at break even. All right, so EU definitely bearish. Gold is still bullish for now. US 30 looks bearish to me. So EU, we have that closure below the 9 EMA. Gold is attempting to close below the 9 EMA. However, for now, I'm still bullish on gold. US 30 is bearish. We have that closure below the 9 EMA. However, I did tell you guys, this is where I'm waiting for the ideal. The ideal sell for me is around 33,577. An early sell would be closure below this trend line, retest of the trend line, and closure below. So that would be an early sell for US 30. And also look at the hourly candle on US 30, right? We have a bunch of sellers all the way from up here. All right, so if you're still in gold and at break even, trade is coming back to break even. US 30, so this trend line is still holding for US 30. Let me see, this is 605, 423, that's a 20 pip wick. Trying to see if we can get a bullish hammer candle here. However, the wick of this candle is 23 to, it's about 20 pips. So for me to take bullish hammer candles, the wick has to be at least 30 pips. And every time we've taken a bullish hammer candle trade on the live session, we've won pretty much every one of them. However, the body of this is too elevated, and also the wick of the candle is only 20 pips. So even though that closes, I won't take that for a buy. So the only trades I'm in is this gold buy that's up here, went up about 35 pips, and right now is coming back to around break even. And then the only other trade I'm in right now is this sell on EU, 30 pips stop loss, 30 pips take profit. And EU is in profit. So I do expect EU to keep melting. I just don't like how I'm in a gold buy and an EU sell, ideally because these two normally move together. However, gold is still bullish. For me, EU and US 30 are bearish. All right. Does anybody have any questions for today? We have 10 more minutes to be on the live session. And hopefully you guys can hear me and I'm not frozen. But does anybody have any questions regarding the trades for today or anything you want me to go over?
Yeah, can you tell me how many pips are you in profit on gold? I missed that trade and I just
On
no,
gold?
no, sorry, on EU.
EU is in profit about not 5 pips, like 3 pips or so. So just,
Okay.
yeah.
I can jump in.
Yeah, you can jump in. So our stop loss is 30 pips. So our stop loss is above the 4-hour bearish high, it's above the hourly bearish high, it's above the trend line, it's above the supply zone within a supply zone, it's above the previous monthly high, the previous daily high, and also the supply zone within a supply zone. So for me, this trade makes sense because there's so much selling pressure on EU on the upside. I don't see them just breaking it. Maybe tomorrow during CPI, but for today, we have nothing but sell zones on EU. So yeah, I actually like the EU trade more than gold. Yeah, but gold, we're still bullish on it. But given that US 30 and EU are turning to bearish, gold might just follow suit. But for you guys, gold should be at break even. Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to go for a regular 20 pips stop loss and 20 pips take profit for EU. The only reason I went for 30 pips was because the 30 pip is ideally below the previous daily high. Actually, never mind, because I normally start doing the previous daily highs on Wednesday. So this previous daily high, I think it's Thursday's high. So just ignore this previous daily high for now. Actually, I'll just take it away from sight. I just remembered I normally, so for me, the previous daily high from yesterday would be the Monday high, which is down here. So for me, the Monday highs are normally static. I leave the Monday highs and Monday lows on the charts, and then I just start doing the previous daily highs on Wednesday, so that the previous daily high for Wednesday is Tuesday, and then I still have the Monday highs and lows on the chart. Yeah. So the reason I did 30 pips instead of 20 pips was because I wanted my stop loss to be above this supply zone within a supply zone here that's above also the previous monthly high. So that's why I did 30 pips here, so that ideally the trade can be protected. Yeah, so that's why I did that. So for both trades, the gold trade, I'm risking 0.5% of my account. And for EU, I'm also risking 0.5%. So if these two trades do hit take profit, I'll be up 1% for the day. If both of them do hit stop loss, which would ideally be weird since they're opposite trades, but it can happen, I would just be down 1% for the day, if that makes sense. Anybody else have any other question?
No, thank you, bro.
Okay. For tomorrow during CPI, so remember, if you're using the signals for any entry, whether you're entering on impulse or whether you're waiting for confluences, remember to avoid the signals the day before heavy news. So like tomorrow, we do have CPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can see all these red folders, right, at 8:30. Actually, if you guys want to trade news live, I can go live just as I did on NFP. And ideally, pretty much every time we've gone live during news, during NFP, during FOMC, we made about 1% or 1.25 return for those trades. So I can go live tomorrow for you guys during CPI. And then
Yeah,
we'll,
you can do
okay.
that.
Okay. Only thing with CPI, sometimes you normally have a lot of fake outs. You have either a strong move to the downside and then a strong move back to the upside and then some ranging. So anyway, we'll see how it goes tomorrow, so that we can use it for our future trades. And I'll also look at my journal to see how CPI has moved in the past. Other than that, does anybody have anything else they need to ask or add?
Yeah, so of gold, when do you think we'll go to like the 1960 zone, like
What
that area?
for gold?
Yeah.
1960. Okay, so for that I need to do the hourly time frame. Okay, so for gold. So the analysis for yesterday was gold was to come around the 1983 area and 1978 for a buy, and gold literally tapped that area, shot all the way back up. So the 1960 area, 1960 is around here. So that would ideally be completing this structure. So for me to see how that can happen, I asked myself, right, what's the next area of liquidity for gold, or where can they grab orders to take gold down? So we do have these supply zones around here, but we are creating, okay, let me do this. I'll draw trend lines on the hourly. I'll go that way. And then I'll do this trend line to the downside will be a hanging trend line because it hasn't been established. So you can see we are in an uptrend and gold is ideally squeezing to the upside. We do have an hourly bearish high and a 30-minute bearish zone around 2020. We do have a Friday low, a previous daily low. So honestly, I would see gold do something like this, go to the previous daily low. I'm sorry, not previous day. I'm sorry. Ignore the previous daily low, Friday high and previous monthly high, which is around here, and maybe grab liquidity to come back down. So if gold comes back down, I wouldn't try to buy gold again at around 1983, because it's most likely going to break through. But ideally, that's what I would be looking for. So if you want to know like where price is headed to, always look at, okay, where are they most likely to go and pick up pending orders, right? So that's why you have to be to pay attention to the monthly highs and monthly lows, to the previous daily highs and previous daily lows, to Monday highs, Monday lows, Friday highs and Friday lows. So those are the zones that are going to tell you where they likely to go and grab liquidity from and then take price to a certain level. But I do see them maybe going to 2010 and possibly reversing from there. Now, I don't know if they're going to reverse and go to 1960. It can ideally also keep pumping. So keep in mind, I still expect gold to go to 2050. So this might be the journey to 2050, or this might be the journey to come back and complete structure at around 1960, 1955 area, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
All right. Any other question? No? All right, let's see how our trades
So
are
you
doing.
said pay attention
Mhm.
to the daily high.
To the
You said
previous,
pay
to the
Yeah.
monthly high and low. So okay, let me start at the top. Previous monthly open, previous monthly high, previous monthly low, current month, current monthly high, I'm sorry, current monthly open, and then the current monthly high and low. However, I would say to start plotting the current monthly high and low maybe after a week or so, in order to give price like some space to move around, and then go back down, right? Previous weekly high, previous weekly low, previous weekly open, current weekly open, current weekly high, current weekly low. Again, same thing. Start plotting the current weekly high and low maybe on Wednesday or Tuesday. And then go to the daily, same thing, previous daily high, previous daily low. I don't do previous daily open anymore. It was just too much. So previous daily high, previous daily low, Monday high, Monday low. Monday open will coincide with the weekly open, so you don't have to do Monday open. And then Friday high and Friday low. And then, yeah, that's it.
And
So
what am I looking for? What am I looking at when I do that?
so you want to look at what's around those zones, right? So for example, let me take away this previous, no, that's previous monthly high. So for example, here, just ignore the previous daily low right here. So right here on gold, we have a supply zone right here, right? But guess what? We also have Friday low and previous monthly high. So if price were to come up here, I would be like, okay, this is a supply zone. Ideally, I would be looking for a sell. And then what I would wait for, not just sell on impulse, I would wait for price to close below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute and then retest the 9 EMA and close below. And at that point, I would sell gold because I have like 3 confluences. I have the 3 or however many. So I have the closure below the 9 EMA and then retest and closure below. I have Friday highs. I have the previous monthly high. And I also have the what is it, the supply zone. Best yet, if you can get a trend line going somewhere above here. So ideally, you're looking for these zones to support your buyers, to support any bullish or bearish zones, and to support any trend lines you have or EMAs that you're using, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Any other question? All right. If not, let's see. Gold is still dancing around. EU is dropping steadily, so that's good. Yeah, so just pay attention to those trades, and I will see you guys here tomorrow around the same time. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Right.